Big facts here. Yo, man. So I got Frank Alexander's book, Got Your Back. And I've read this book probably about 10 years ago. And on the Bomb First channel, I know Reggie always reverts back to Frank Alexander and what he did and what he said. And then Frank Alexander started making videos contradicting what he said in this book. I believe this book is the most accurate of Frank Alexander's story regarding Tupac. I think the DVDs are a bunch of BS for him to make money after the fact, after, you know, the beef with Death Row. But I think he didn't have no beef with Death Row when he wrote this book. At least not as bad as he did after, when he started making them DVDs. But anyway, I want to go back to specifically the part where Tupac jumps on Orlando Anderson. And I want to read Frank's account on that. Okay, so Frank says right here in this book, page 155, Las Vegas, Nevada. As we exited the backstage area, we met up with the rest of the entourage, which included all of Suge's homeboys and all of Pac's outlaws. Everyone was crowding around the entrance area, and as we were standing around bullshitting about the fight, Trayvon, one of Suge's homeboys, came up to Pac and whispered in his left ear. What he whispered, I don't know, but my heart sunk. It really was gonna be one of those nights. Like lightning, Pac took off running, and I took off running behind him. Orlando Anderson, I would learn his name later, stood about 6'1", and it looked like he was anticipating the arrival of someone. Not necessarily Tupac, but someone. He was standing with an MGM security guard who appeared to have him detained. Tupac started swinging and Anderson went down immediately. As he fell to the ground, the entire Death Row entourage showed up. At that point, I was pulling Tupac away from Orlando, trying to get him off him. Pac's Black Angel intervened. A link on his medallion broke, and he stopped beating on Orlando when the necklace snapped apart. Yeah, that necklace that I talked about in my videos, that big medallion with the angel on it, that's what Frank's talking about. While he went down to grab it, I grabbed him and pulled him away from the scene. I pushed him away from the scuffle and had him up against the wall. God damn it, Pop. You know you can't be doing this, I told him. I'm not gonna let you back over there. Use your head. You've got a court date coming up. Yeah, and he would have went back to jail if he would have lived, you know, for violating his parole, man. Can't do that. My back was to the fight, but I could hear security coming up. I started easing Tupac out of the picture. My whole objective was to keep him out of it, but he wanted back in. As he attempted to jump back into the crowd, I reached into the fray and plucked him out a second time. At this point, I could see Suge and his homeboys kicking Anderson while he was still down. Let's go, I heard Suge yell, and everybody started to scatter. Now this part in the book where he says he saw Suge and his homeboys kicking Anderson, you know, Suge might have a bone to pick with him about that. But I think Suge was in jail at the time. But anyway, Suge still might have a bone to pick with him because he said that in the book. Well, Suge is on video, man. Come on. Let's go, I heard Suge yell, and everybody started to scatter. The only problem was no one knew which way was out, and people started to panic. I had scoped out the exits earlier when I was looking for Pac and knew where to find the nearest door. The crowd saw us head outside and followed us out of the building. As we made it to the exit, I could hear security calling for Metro. We proceeded to go back to the Luxor by foot, and as we were walking, everyone's talking about the fight. Tupac didn't waste any time chiming in. The bragging started before we even hit the bridge. It was just like the fight. Boom, 1, boom, 2, and he was down. I took him out faster than Tyson. Everyone was laughing and congratulating him, and no one asked why he beat on the guy. For his part, Tupac didn't offer an explanation. It didn't matter to him why he did it. It was just another fight. Another chance for him to prove himself. See, even Frank was saying he was trying to prove himself. For Pac, bragging after a fight was like having a smoke after sex. He'd get all charged up, and I just looked at his behavior as another part of thug life. At the time, all I was thinking was, thank God we got out of there. By now, we probably had at least 100 groupies following us back over to the Luxor. Men and women, young and old, every kind of hanger-on you could imagine. I was the only bodyguard. Everyone else had their instructions to head over to 662, and no one in security knew what just happened. I'm on Tupac like glue now. When he went upstairs to change, I went with him, while Tupac switched out of his jeans and into a pair of green sweatpants and a matching green jersey. I fixed the link on his medallion because he wanted it to wear it out. I sat down in front of the air conditioner and started chugging on some hot tea. I realized I was dehydrated from all the commotion. I began thinking about what just happened. Oh well, I tell myself, it was just another fight and it's over. We're out of harm's way and it's done. It was just like every other fight we had in the past, except we didn't get stopped by the police. There was no witnesses, no guns drawn. At this point, I'm thinking about the cameras and what they might have captured on video. I didn't know till later in the week that the guy he beat up was a Compton Crip. They believe tore up a Foot Locker in the Lakewood Mall after trying to snatch Trayvon's death row necklace. Apparently, there was a $10,000 bounty for them. None of this would come to light until much later. In the meantime, all I was thinking about was making it through the rest of the evening with no more bullshit. Bam! That right there is Frank Alexander's account of when Tupac jumped on Orlando Anderson. And later in another video, we're going to talk about what Reggie Wright said about Frank leaving his gun in the car. We're gonna discuss all that because I think I remember Frank blaming Reggie for not having his gun, and Reggie blaming Frank for not having his gun. So in another video, we're gonna read what Frank has to say about that, man. Till next time, y'all. Big facts. We out of here.